Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartribhyo Vamsha Rishibhyo Namo Gurubhyaha. So we were in the 9th Brahmana of the 3rd chapter, and we were in this 26th Vakya here. So here the story is that Shakalya is questioning Yajnavalkya, and then first he is asking about the Ashta Purushaha. So the 8 different manifestations of Hiranyagarbha, and then also in that we saw that how the manifestation has happened. Then starting from the east as the directions, how different things in the direction are established only in the Hridaya. They are all they resolve back into the Hridaya or the Buddhi. Hridaya here is Manas or Buddhi only. So like that, we saw how the manifestation is happening and then how the resolution is happening. Those are all, you can take them as Upasana also, but they are also showing us how the manifestation and the resolution, they are all from the same reality. Now in this context, Shakalya further asks, where does this Hridaya is? Because everything is resolving into the Hridaya, it was said. Then he further asks, Kasminnutvam cha atmata pratishtitau sta iti. So the Hridaya was said to be in the body, and body is said to be in the Hridaya, like that. It is like a mutual dependence is there, correct? So anyway, further Shakalya asks that, and then Yajnavalkya keeps on answering that the body itself is established in the prana. Then where is prana means it is in apana. Apana, where is apana means it is in vyana. And where vyana is established means it is in udana. And then finally udana is established in samana. Up to this is the story. And then the Shruti here talks about, it interjects, and then it is again describing this Brahman. Sayesha neti neti Atma agrihyaha nahi grihyate ashiryaha nahi shiryate asangaha nahi sajyate asitaha na vyathate na rishyati. So this part is not in the story. This was not said by Yajnavalkya. This is actually the Shruti itself is saying that finally everything is established only in this Atma, which is Brahman. And the nature of that Atma, again, it explains here. Now that part of the Bhashya we saw here. You see, Bhashyakara here, Tatha Ashiryaha. So this Bhashya we saw, because it starts with, okay, Nagrihya also, that also we saw actually. Yasman nahi grihyate yadhi karana gocharam vyakritam vastu tat grahana gocharam. So that which is not available as an object for any karana, any instrument, any indriya, Atma is not available as an object of any indriya. Therefore it is agrihyaha. Because it is agrihyaha, it is ashiryaha also. It doesn't decay, because this whatever has parts and whatever has a form, correct, murta, that alone declines and decays, correct, finally. But this Atma is partless, it is formless also. It doesn't have any form. It's a partless whole. So it is different from any Murta Vastu, anything with a form. Therefore, it doesn't decay, it doesn't decline. It's in fact always the same, correct? It is unchanging reality. And this Atma is also not connected to anything else. Okay? Because it's a partless whole, only those which have parts can have relationship or connection with some other thing which has parts. Whatever is partless, it cannot be connected with anything else. In fact, one example for that is space itself. Within the Srishti, everything has parts. But space is a partless, subtle Vastu, you can say. That's why even though things are in space, space itself is untouched by anything. Similarly, Atma also is a partless whole. In fact, it is subtler than space also. So it is not Sangha, it doesn't have any connection with anything else. It is unrelated, untouched, unattached to anything. So Bhashyakara also explains that Murtaha Murtantarena Sambadhyamanaha Sadyate. So only that which has a form can have a connection or a relationship, or it can be combined or joined with something else. But Atma doesn't have all that. Therefore, it is different from anything with a form. So it doesn't join with anything. And also because it doesn't have any form, it is also, it cannot be bound by anything. That which has a form alone can be bound also. So yadhi murtam tad badhyate ayantu tad viparitatvat asitaha. So because the Atma is formless, it cannot be bound, it cannot be contained anywhere. And also since it is not contained anywhere, it is limitless really. It cannot be, it cannot have any pain, na vyathate. It cannot be injured and all that. Ataha na rishyati. So finally, Bhashyakara summarizes whatever the Shruti is teaching here. Grahana, Visharana, Sangha, Bandha, Karya, Dharma, Rahitatva. Because the Shruti is talking about Nahi Grihyate, Agrihyaha, Ashiryaha, correct? Asangaha, Asitaha. All these words are there. So basically, Atma is something which is not available as an object. It does not decay or decline. It doesn't have any connection with anything else, and therefore it is not bound also. It is limitless really. So all this Karya Dharma is not there in the Atma, and therefore it cannot be destroyed also. It is Avinashi, na rishyati, na himsam apadyate. So it cannot be injured, and therefore na vinashyati ityarthaha. So it doesn't get destroyed. It is indestructible. It's invariable, in fact. That is also another reason it is indestructible, unchanging reality. It is the invariable in each and every cognition. So this Atma, up to this we saw, I think, last week. Now, Bhashyakara also explains here the previous part where the Shruti was revealing the nature of Atma. This was not said by Ajnavalkya. So Bhashyakara wants to inform that. So he says, Kramam atikramya Upanishadasya Purushasya Akyaikataha Apasritya Shrutya Svena Rupena Tvaraya Nirdeshaha Kritaha. So Bhashyakara says, Kramam atikramya means what? You have gone beyond the order. Because in the story, certain things are going on in an order. Now Shruti just goes beyond that, and then it reveals to us. Okay, so giving up the story, Akyaikataha Apasritya Upanishadasya Purushasya. So the Purusha, and what kind of Purusha? Upanishadaha. Upanishadaha means what? The one who is known only through the Upanishads. So that's what we have to understand. This Atma, although we can arrive at that I am a conscious being, to whom everything becomes evident, even then the nature of that conscious being as the limitless, as the basis for the subject-object duality, as the limitless, unchanging reality, all these things have to be revealed only by the Shruti. The Shruti does not reveal the existence of Atma, but Shruti removes all the wrong notions about oneself and shows us our own true nature. So for that, Shruti alone is the Pramana. You cannot arrive at this reality through any other means. Okay, there are no other means of knowledge. That's why it is Upanishadasya Purushasya. So Akyayikataha apasritya Shrutya Svena Rupena. So this Upanishadaha Purushaha, that Purusha is revealed to you in its real nature, okay, by the Shruti. And how? In a hurry. Tvaraya Nirdeshaha Krita. It gives this Nirdesha, this teaching in a hurry, it seems, because it wants to continue with the story. So in between the story, the Shruti is revealing the true nature of the Atma to us. So then again it continues with the story, no? Tataha punaha akhyayikam eva ashritya aha. So now, in keeping with the story, the Shruti is continuing again. And what happens there? Now, in fact, Yajnavalkya asks Shakalya, because after he said whatever, like the this prana, etc., correct? He said up to Udana, Samana. After this, actually, Shakalya is silent. He doesn't know what to ask further. And then Yajnavalkya now asks him. What does he ask? So, Etani, Yani Uktani, Ashtau Ayatanani. Because if you see that, I already told you that the Ashta Purusha, correct? 8. In fact, in that the Ayatana, 8 abodes, 8 lokas, 8 devatas, like this. That's how it was described there, correct? That Upasana, where the 8 forms of Hiranyagarbha was described. So that Ashtav Ayatanani, Prithivyeva. It started with Prithivyeva, Yasya Ayatanam Ityeva Madini. Ashtav Lokaha. In that again, Agni Lokadeha. In the first one, Agni was given as the Loka. Then Kim Devateti, like that it was asked, and then Amritam. Amritam means actually Rasam and all that. Bhashyakara gave a different meaning there. So Ashtav Devaha. So here again the Devata had a different meaning, correct? The source from which something comes was called the Devata. So like this, these 8 manifestations which were talked about in some detail, Ityeva Madayaha, Ashtav Purushaha, Sharira Purushaha Ityadaya. So each Purusha had all these aspects, the Ayatana, Loka, Devata, etc., starting from Sharira onwards as a Purusha. So these things, Sa Yaha Kaschittan Purushan, Sharira Prabritin Niruhya, Nischayena Uhya, Gamayitva, Ashta Chatushka Bhedena, Lokastitim Upapadya. So why was this talked about? Bhashyakara is explaining here. See, all these Purushas, okay, these Purushas, starting from Sharira onwards, Sharira Prabriti. Niruhya means what? Nischayena Uhya means they were shown with a certain certainty. Gamayitva. Uhya means here teaching them with certain clarity. In fact, each of them had 4 different aspects which we already saw, correct? So Ashta Chatushka Bedena. So all these 8 Purushas with their 4 aspects, all this was shown to show that the Loka Stitim Upapadya means the Loka, how this world came about. Okay, how the manifestation of the world happened, that was shown through that. Then again what? Punaha Prachi Digadi Dwarena Pratyuhya Upasamhritya Swatmani Hridaye Atyakramate Atikrantavan Upadi Dharmam Hridayadi Atmatvam. So again what? The next set was the 4 directions and up also, correct? 5 directions you can take. So all the things in each of these directions were shown to be resolving into one's own hridaya. So that is the pratyuhya, he says. So through these 5 directions, prachi, digadi, dwarena, through them, pratyuhya means upasamhritya means what? Again, taking it back in, means resolution. So into oneself, swatmani, hridaye. So showing them as being resolved into one's own hridaya means it is atyakramati. Atikrantavan means it transcends. Basically to show that this Brahman transcends all the upadhi dharma. Atikrantavan upadhi dharmam. Hridayadi atmatvam. So basically you show that everything resolves into the hridaya, and further this hridaya also is transcended, and then to show that Brahman which transcends this hridaya also. And in fact that Brahman, what is the nature of that Brahman? Svenaiva atmana vyavastitaha, the one who is there as one's own self, correct? One who is established as one's own self. To show that only this Shruti has talked about all these things, the Ashta Purusha and also the 5 diks. And who is that? Yaha Upanishadaha Purushaha. So that the Upanishadaha, again, the word Upanishadaha is used here. The Purusha who is revealed only by the Upanishads. In fact, Bhashyakara will explain that here further. So Upanishadaha Purushaha, and what is the nature of this Purusha? Ashanayadi Varjitaha. One who is free from hunger, etc. Hunger, thirst, none of these things are there in this Atma. Upanishad Svena Vijñeyaha. So Upanishadaha means what? Bhashyakara explains here. Upanishatsu eva Vijñeyaha. Okay, that which can be known only through the Upanishads. Upanishatsu eva Vijñeyaha na anya pramanagamyaha. That which is not available through any other means of knowledge. So Brahman cannot be known through Pratyaksha or Anumana. The only pramana which reveals the nature of this Atma as Brahman is the Shruti. And even in the Shruti, Upanishad is the portion which is revealing that. So this is Upanishadaha Purushaha. That's why. Now, so in fact that Upanishadaha Purushaha is coming in the Shruti itself here, correct? So Pratyuhya Atyakramat tam tu Upanishadam Purusham Prichami, like this Yajnavalkya says. So this is the portion now Bhashyakara is commenting on. See this Niruhya Pratyuhya, he said. So Niruhya is the part where the manifestation happens. Pratyuhya means it resolves back. And then after it resolves into the Hridaya, that Hridaya also it transcends. And that is the Purusha about whom I am asking now. Okay. Like that Yajnavalkya says, he's saying now, do you know that Purusha? That's what he's asking. So, tam, tvam, you, do you know that? Okay. Vidya Abhimaninam. Okay, Bhashyakara adds. So, Sakalya thinks he is a great Pandita, correct? He has an Abhimana that I am a Pandita, I know, I have knowledge, etc. So, he is Vidya Abhimaninam Purusham Prichami. So the Yajnavalkya is asking, okay, the one who thinks, who knows, who is a Pandita, does he know this Upanishadaha Purushaha? And again, what Yajnavalkya says here, if you do not know, then what will happen? That's what tam chet yadi me na vivakshyasi vispashtam na kathayishyasi. So if you are not able to explain it to me clearly, vispashtam. Spashtam, Vispashtam means very clearly. You should be able to describe or show that you have the knowledge of this Upanishadaha Purushaha clearly, and you should be able to explain that clearly to me. If you are not able to do that, what will happen? Murdhate vipatishyati ityaha yajnavalkyaha. So if you do not know this, your head will fall off. He says that. Then what happened? Tam tu Upanishadam Purusham Shakalyaha na mene. ha na vijnatavan kila. So this Upanishadam Purusham, Shakalya did not know. He did not know, unfortunately. So what happened? Tasyaha murdha vipapata vipatitaha. His head fell off. Samapta akhyayika. Bhashyakara says, story is over with this. So, Shruter Vachanam Tamha ne mene ityadi. In fact, the Tamha na mene, from this, after his head fell off, Shruti continues. Okay, Shruti is now giving a note. Tamha na mene shakalyaha tasyaha murdha vipapatapi ha asya parimoshinaha astini upajahruhu anyam manyamanaha. This part is a addition after the story is over. Okay, so that is Shruti's Vachanam. So why does it even talk about it? Bhashyakara is explaining here. Kincha api ha asya parimoshinaha. Parimoshinaha means there is a mush dhatu is there, the meaning of stealing. So parimoshinaha means taskaraha, thieves, robbers. So these robbers, what did they do? Astini api samskarartam shishyaihi niyamanani grihan prati. So once his head fell off, then his bones and his dead body was taken by his sishyas for doing the Antya Samskara, correct? They were taking it home, but while taking it, they had covered it, I think, with some nice cloth and all that. And while they were taking it back, the robbers thought that something very valuable is there underneath. Okay, therefore what? Grihan Prati, they were taking it to his home. But what happened? The Taskaraha Parimoshinaha Upajahruhu Apahritavantaha, they took away that body also. Why did they take? Kim nimitam anyat dhanam niyamanam manyamanaha. They thought it is some other valuable thing, some gold maybe. So they took it away. The robbers took it away. So why is this said here? Bhashyakara explains here. Purva vritta hi akhyaika iha suchita. So there is a story. There is already a story between Yajnavalkya and Shakalya. There also they are debating. Okay. There only actually Yajnavalkya curses him. So Shruti is now reminding us of that story here. So Bhashyakara says, Ashtadhyayam kila Shakalyena Yajnavalkyasya samananta eva samhadaha nirvrittaha. So the Ashtadhyayi means, again, normally Ashtadhyayi means we think about the Panini's Ashtadhyayi, correct? Ashtadhyayi means that which has 8 chapters. Now the Shatapatha Brahmana has 100 chapters actually. In that, the chapter before the Brhadaranyaka is called Ashtadhyayi, which is talking about again different karma. Okay, 8 chapters. In that Ashtadhyayi, this Shakalya and Yajnavalkya are already having a discussion. Okay, that's what this Shruti is trying to point to now. Shakalya and Yajnavalkya, they are having a dialogue, okay, with a similar samana antaha eva samvada nirvritaha means this their discussion went something similar, but there Yajnavalkya only gave a shapa. So tatra Yajnavalkyena shapaha dattaha. In that dialogue or debate, Yajnavalkya gave a shapa to Shakalya. What? Pure atithye marishyasi nate asthini cha na grihan prapsyanti. So this is coming in Shatapatha Brahmana 11.6.3.11. Okay, in that portion. So the 11th portion of Shatapatha Brahmana has 8 adhyayas. That's why it is called Ashtadhyayi. In that Ashtadhyayi, in the 6th adhyaya, this discussion between Yajnavalkya and Shakalya, there was a discussion. Here, there he is saying Atithye. Okay, means what? In an not a tithi means normally some auspicious time you can take. Atithya means you will die. Marishyasi, you will die in an inauspicious time. and nate asthini cha na grihan prapsyanti. Your bones also will not reach your house, your home. Like this, Yajnavalkya had given a shapa there. And there only the Shruti further says, iti saha tataiva mamara, means then Shruti said there that he died similarly. Okay, he died exactly like that. And then what? Tasyahi tasyaha api anyat manyamanaha parimoshinaha astini upajahruhu tasman na upavadi syad uta hi evam with paraha bhavati iti. So this is also from Shatapatha Brahmana only, the 6th chapter there. So in the same manner he died like that, it says, but it doesn't tell where he died and what all happened later on. That is this story, in fact. Okay, so that is the connection here. So he died exactly, then again the Parimoshina Handal is coming there also, correct? So the robbers took away his bones, mistaking it for something else. Okay, so that's what is said here. Therefore, what? Na upavadi syaduta hi evam vitparaha bhavati iti. And this story, the moral of the story is what? One should not be disrespectful to the one who knows this Brahman, this Paravidya, the one who is a Brahmavit, correct? With such a person, one should not be disrespectful. That's what it says. Therefore, na upavadi syat utahi evam vitparaha bhavati iti. Like that Shruti itself said. And therefore what? So this is the Akhyayika, this is the story. Sa esha Akhyayika acharartham suchita. So this story was reminded or recollected here for one to follow certain decorum, correct? For achara, it has been reminded here, and also for the purpose of praising Vidya Stutayecha iha, because the Brahmavit has to be respected. That one who has the knowledge of this Brahman, that person you cannot disrespect. And in fact, Atmajnam hi archayet bhuti kamaha, like that another Upanishad says. So you should do archana, you should do puja to the Brahmavit, like this also is there, even if you are a bhuti kama, even if you are interested in gaining something here. So this story is over. Now Yajnavalkya is about to take all the cows, but still he has to again follow some sabha maryada, correct? There are certain conventions, traditions. So he addresses the Brahmanas now. That is the next part. So Bhashyakara introduces that. What does he say? Yasya neti neti iti anya pratishedhadvarena brahmanaha nirdeshaha kritaha. So through neti neti, Brahman was shown by negating everything else which is not Brahman, correct? So you negate everything, and finally the negator alone is there, and Brahman is nothing but the very nature of that negator. So like this Brahman was shown, but now what? Tasya vidhi mukhena katam nirdeshaha kartavyaha iti punaha akhyayikam eva ashrityaha moolam cha jagataha vaktavyam iti. So again, the Shruti wanted to show this Brahman not through only neti neti, but see, neti neti alone again only points out to you as a conscious being. But how do you account for whatever you are seeing? That has to be accounted for, correct? That is why Brahman is always shown also as the Jagat Karana. So here, that's what again, to show in a Vidhimukam means by showing in a positive manner, correct? Vidhimukena, how do we reveal this Brahman? Katham nirdeshaha kartavya iti punaha akhyayikam. That story is continued. So in keeping with that story, only are taking the story further, The Shruti is trying to show the cause of this world. Moolancha Jagataha Vaktavyam iti. To show the Jagat Moolam, which is Brahman in fact. So to show Brahman as Jagat Karma. First, Brahman was shown as not any of these things. Okay. This is what Pujya Swamiji, my Guru, used to beautifully say. See, it is not that this is not we have to start. But everything is it. That also has to be revealed. So there is a certain inequality and there is an equality also. Both one has to understand. So Brahman is not this Jagat. Means Satyam is not Mithya. This is one part of the understanding. Clay is not part, correct? Because the clayness, in your understanding of clayness, there is no partness. Understand that. So clay is not pot. Okay. But pot is clay. Mithya is Satyam. Satyam is not Mithya. But Mithya is Satyam. Both we have to understand. So when you say Satyam is not Mithya, clay is not pot, that is the Neti Neti teaching. But then when you say pot is clay, means that is the Vidhi Mukha we have to take. Because Mithya is Satyam. Mithya has dependent existence on Satyam. Satyam is independently existent. In fact, from the standpoint of Satyam, there is no Mithya at all. Okay. But still Mithya is appearing and it has to be accounted for. Therefore, we have to say Mithya is Satyam. Mithya is Satyam is a teaching from the standpoint of the appearance of Mithya. But once you have understood the Satyam, correct? If rope is there, rope is rope, correct? For the one who sees the rope, nobody needs to say snake is rope. Understand that. In fact, that will be weird, correct? Somebody is seeing a rope. You go to that fellow, hey, do you see the rope? Means he says, yes, I see the rope. Then you say, snake is rope. He will think that you are mad. You don't have to say that. But for the one who sees the snake, you have to say, snake is rope. Because this fellow is seeing the rope as snake. For that person, you have to say, snake is rope. Like that, the Jagat is being cognized. Therefore, the Jagataha Moolam has to be said. And by showing the Jagataha Moolam, the cause of the world, the cause becomes Satya, the Karya, the effect, the Jagat becomes Mithya, and Mithya is Satyam. But Satyam is not Mithya. Both makes the teaching complete. Is that clear? So this has to be said. Therefore, again the Shruti continues with the Akhyayika. Akhyayika Sambandha tu Abrahma Vidaha Brahmanan Jitva Godanam Hartavyam iti Nyayam Matva Aha. So the Akhyayika, what is the point or the moral of this story? The Sambandha is what? Those who do not know Brahman, but they are all Brahmanas, having won them, only you have to debate with them, you have to defeat them, and then only you can take the Godhanam. Okay, you cannot otherwise take, and you have to take it with their permission only again. So without their permission, without their consent, whatever belongs to the Brahmanas, you cannot take it without their consent. So keeping this in mind, Shruti now says what? But Yajnavalkya says, that's what the Shruti is telling us. Ataho vacha Brahmanaha Bhagavantaha yo vaha kamayate sama prichatu sarveva ma prichatu prichata. So thereafter, Yajnavalkya said here, what did he say? Hey Brahmanaha Bhagavantaha. In fact, he addresses them very respectfully as Bhagavantaha. Okay, so yaha vaha kamayate sama prichatu, he says. So whoever desires, you can now question me. So if anybody else wants to question me, please go ahead. Or sarveva ma prichata, all of you also may question me together as a group. Okay, I am ready still. Or otherwise what? Yaha vaha kamayate tam vaha prichami. Or if somebody desires that you are ready to answer my questions, and you want me to question you, then I am ready to question you. Or you want me to question and all of you want to answer, correct? Sarvan vavaha prichami iti. So otherwise I can also question all of you. I will give my questions. Anybody, any one of you in this group can still answer me. So like this, he gives an option, okay, to all these people. Iti. Then what? Teha brahmanaha na dadrishuhu. They did not dare to open their mouth. Okay, these brahmanas, they remained silent. Means none of them, after what happened to Shakalya, I think they none of them had the gall to question Yajnavalkya or even listen to any questions from him. So quickly we'll see the Bhashya. Ataho vacha, atha anantaram, tushnim bhuteshu brahmaneshu ha vacha. So those who were silent, all the brahmanas were silent. To them, Yajnavalkya said, what did he say? He brahmanaha bhagavantaha ityevam sambodhya, calling them out as brahmanaha bhagavantaha. What did he say? Yo vaha yushmakam madhye kamayate ichati. So amongst you, whoever desires what? Yajnavalkyam prichami iti. So I will ask Yajnavalkya questions like that. Whoever desires, sama mam agatya prichatu. So that person may come forward and question me, ask me. Or sarveva ma prichata, sarveva yuyam ma mam prichata. So all of you together also can ask me. Or otherwise what? Yaha vaha kamayate Yajnavalkya mam prichatu iti. So the one who desires that, may Yajnavalkya ask me, like that. Tam vaha prichami, that person I will ask. Or sarvan vaha yushman aham prichami, or I will question and all of you together also can answer. But then after Yajnavalkya said like this, what happened? Teha brahmanaha na dadrishuhu, te brahmanaha eva muktaha api. So even though they were told like this by Yajnavalkya, na pragalbhaha samvrittaha kinchidapi pratyuttaram vaktum. So they did not open their mouth to say anything back to Yajnavalkya. They all remained silent. So that being the case, now what happens? Anyway, Yajnavalkya continues. Tamha etaihi shlokaihi papracha. So these slokas, now Yajnavalkya tells them. So none of them dared to open their mouth, but still he asked them the following verses. Okay. And in fact, these verses only will show the Jagataha Moolam. That's how Bhashyakara gave the introduction, correct? So here Yajnavalkya is comparing the Vriksha with the Purusha. So Yatha Vrikshaha Vanaspatihi Tathaiva Purushaha Amrisha Tasya Lomani Parnani Tvagasya Utpatika Bahihi. So Yajnavalkya says here, Yatha Vrikshaha Vanaspatihi Tathaiva Purushaha. Like the tree is the Purusha. And it is Amrisha, means it is Satyam. Really, Purusha is like a tree. And his Lomani, his hair is like the leaves of the tree. And his skin is like the outer bark. Bahihi Utpatika, outer bark of the tree. Okay, like that. So here there is a comparison between the tree and the Purusha. So Bhashyakara, Teshu Apragalbha Bhuteshu Brahmaneshu Tanha Yetaihi Vakshamanaihi Shlokaihi Papracha Ishtavan. So these Brahmanas who were silent, correct, who did not open their mouths, towards them now he asks these things anyway in general. Then he says, Yatha loke vrikshaha vanaspatihi, vrikshasya visheshanam vanaspatihi iti. So vrikshaha means tree, but vanaspati is a specific type of tree. In fact, it is a visheshana, it's a qualification for a tree here. In fact, in the Amarakosha also, the different types of trees are talked about. And it is said that some type of trees, they flower and then fruit, it seems. but some trees directly fruit without the flower. Those are called vanaspatihi, like that. But Bhashyakara here generally says that it is a Visheshana of the tree. That's all. It's not a Punarukti, but it is a qualification, means it is a particular type of tree. So that is Vanaspati. And Tataha, Tataiva, Purushaha. So the Purusha is similar in the same manner, and it is Amrisha. Amrisha means what? Satyametat. This is true. This indeed is true, that the Purusha is like a tree. And further, what is the comparison or similarity? Tasya lomani, tasya purushasya lomani, itarasya vanaspatehe parnani. So the hair of the Purusha is like the leaves of the tree. Tvagasya utpatika bahihi. Tvakasya purushasya itarasya utpatika vanaspatehe. So the vanaspati's outer bark is like the skin of the Purusha. Further, what? Tvacha eva asya rudhiram prasyandi. Tvacha utpataha tasmat tada trinnat praiti rasaha vrikshad iva ahatat. So tvacha eva asya rudiram prasyandi. So if you cut your skin, then the blood flows, correct? From the skin only the blood flows, and from the bark again the sap flows. If you break the bark, the swap flows. Therefore, what? When a man is wounded, atrinnat, blood flows, praiti, and rasaha vrikshad iva ahata. Like even when a tree is cut, the sap or the rasa flows. Similarly, when your skin is cut or if your body is wounded, blood flows. So this is the one similarity again. So tvacha eva sakashat asya purushasya rudiram prasyandi. Vanaspatehe tvachaha utpataha tvacha eva utsputati yasmat. So here it is from the man's skin that the blood flows, and it is from the bark the sap also comes out, correct? Vanaspatehe tvachaha utpataha tvacha eva utsputati, because okay, yasmat. So in this manner, evam sarvam samanam eva. In this manner, it is all similar between the Purusha and Vanaspati. Vanaspatehe purushasya cha tasmad atrinnat himsitat praiti tat rudiram nirgachati. So when the skin is injured in some manner or cut, the blood comes out. Similarly, vrikshadiva ahatat chinnat rasaha, and if the tree is also cut, the bark is cut, then the sap comes out. That is the similarity. And further, what? Mamsani asya shakarani kinatam snava tat sthiram astini antarataha daruni majja majjopama krita. Further comparison is here. The flesh, mamsa, correct? So the flesh of the man is like the shakara of the tree. Shakarani means inner bark we can take. So outer bark, bahihi utpataha was said. Shakarani means shakalani, like that Bhashyakara says, which is the inner bark we can take, inner part. And kinatam snavaha tat sthiram. So kinatam is a part of the tree which is inside the inner bark also. Okay. And it is connected to the core part of the tree. And that is like the snavaha. Snavaha means that which connects the muscle with the bone, correct? Like a ligament or this tendon and all we have, the Achilles tendon. So that is the snava in Sanskritam. So Purushasya snava is like the kinata of the tree, and it is strong, it says. That kinata is stiram, means it is drida, it is firm. And then the astini, the bones which are underneath, okay, astini, which is inside the snavaha, for the Purusha. For the tree, it is the daru, the wood, actual wood which is there, correct? The inner part. Once you have removed the bark, outer bark, inner bark, and this shakara, whatever is there is the daru, the wood. So the bone is like the wood. And majja, majjopama, and the marrow. Majja is the bone marrow. And even within the daru or the wood, the pith is there. Internally, the center part, that is the majja. For tree also, it is called majjopama only, majja only. For vanaspati also. So like this, the similarities are talked about. Evam mamsani asya purushasya vanaspatehe tani shakarani shakalani ityarthaha. So Bhashyakara says whatever the flesh is for the purusha, for the vanaspati, it is the shakara, means shakala, he says. And further what? Kinatam, vrikshasya kinatam nama shakalebhyaha abhyantaram. So that which is inside the shakala also, which is in the valkala rupam, he says. It is in the form of valkala, which is under the bark, basically inner bark, and it is attached to the wood. Okay, kashta sanlagnam means it is attached to the this wood itself, which is called kashta also. And for the purusha, it is the snavaha, which is the, as I told, which is the ligament or tendon, like, and that is thiram, that's thiram. Tacha kinatam snavavat dridam hi tat, it is firm, like even the snava. And then asthini purushasya snavaha antarataha, and that which is inside the snava also, for the purusha is the bone, asthi, and asthini bhavanti. And tata kinatasya abhyantarataha, so that which is inside the kinata for the tree is what? Daruni, kashtani. So the wood is inside the kinata. And further what? Majja, majjaiva vanaspatehe. So whatever is majja or the marrow for the human being is majja for tree also, which is the pith or the innermost part of the trunk. Purushasya cha majjopama krita. It is similar to Purusha's majja only. Majjayaha upama majjopama na anyaha visheshaha asti ityartha. So there is nothing different between the inner pith and the bone marrow for the human being. They are all same. There is no difference between them. That's why it was simply said as majjopama. So yatha vanaspatehe majja tata purushasya, yatha purushasya tata vanaspatehe. So how it is for purusha, it is similar to vanaspati, and the other way also, that majja is similar or same. Then further what? Yad vrikshaha vriknaha rohati mulan navataraha punaha martyaha swit mrityuna vriknaha kasman mulat prarohati. So this is more like a question. So after having said all these things, the similarities has been said already between purusha and the tree. Now the question is coming. What is the question? So yet vrikshaha vriknaha rohati. Vriknaha means that which is cut. Okay. So after it has been felled, you can say, if a tree, even though you cut it, if the roots are still there, it will spring again, correct? It will come back. It will sprout again. It will sprout from its root and it will come. In fact, even I have done that in some cases. They even advise us that if a certain kind of this infection is there in the tree, it is better to cut off all those portions. Or in some cases, we have cut off the entire tree, leaving only the main trunk. Then after 1 year, I see I don't even know where I have cut it. It has sprouted and it has come back almost like a new tree without any trace of where I cut it actually. So the tree can come back like this, correct? So punaha mulat avataraha. So it comes back from the roots again. Rohati. Rohati means it grows. Martyaha swit mrityuna vriknaha. Martyaha, the purusha, the mortal being who is who is felled by this Mrityu. Mrityu is the Devata here, who comes and kills the human being. So after this happens, correct? From what root will the man come back? The Purusha will come back, will sprout again after being cut off by death. Okay, that is the question here. So let us see the Bhashya. Yat yadi vrikshaha vriknaha chinnaha. Vriknaha means chinnaha, cut. Rohati punaha. Punaha. So again and again it grows back. Punaha prarohati. Pradurbhavati. It comes back. Mula from the root. Punaha punarnavataraha. So again it is having a navataraha means newly it comes up. Punaha navataraha. Purvasmat abhinavataraha. From the whatever is there, it comes up in a new form, you can say. Yad etasmat visheshanat prak vanaspatehe purushasya cha sarvam samanyam avagatam. So now Bhashyakara gives a note. He says, before this, in every manner, the Purusha and tree were shown to be similar. Correct? Samanyam avagatam. We understood that they are similar. Now what? Ayantu vanaspatau visheshaha drishyate. Now the vishesha of the vanaspati is being shown. The difference. What is that? Yat chinnasya prarohanam. So the coming back or the sprouting back into life of the tree even after it is cut. Natu purushe mrityuna vrikne punaha prarohanam drishyate. But we don't see. Once the man dies, that's it. The dead body is burnt or it is whatever. Even if you bury it, we don't see anything coming out of the dead body. Correct? Natu purushe mrityuna vrikne punaha prarohanam drishyate. We don't see the man coming back. Bhavitavyam cha kutaschit prarohanena. So, but what if everything is similar between the tree and the human being? The human also should come back from somewhere, correct? Kutaschit, from somewhere, the human being also has to come back. Till now, I showed you all the similarities, but now it seems that there is something different. But if everything is supposed to be similar between the tree and the human being, then from some source, from somewhere, the human being has to come back. Therefore, I am asking, he says, Tasmat vaha prichami. Now I am asking you, Martyaha manushyaha svit mrityuna vriknaha. So the human being who has been cut or felled or destroyed by death, kasmat mulat prarohati. From which root, from which source he comes back? Mritasya purushasya kutaha prarohanam ityarthaha. So from where does the dead person come back? Now, Yagyavalkya himself answers that. Maybe the Brahmanas were silent, I think. So he says, Retasaha iti ma vochata jivatas tat prajayate dhanaruha iva vai vrikshaha anjasa pretya sambhavaha. So if you say the human being comes back again from the retas, which is sperm, from the seed, means the seed itself comes only from a living person, correct? Jivataha tat prajayate. Only from a living person, the seed comes, not from a dead body. Okay, the tree, dhanaruha iva vai vrikshaha anjasa pretya sambhavaha. But the tree also comes from the seed, we know that. So, but it comes from the seed also, that is possibility. Vrikshaha anjasa pretya sambhavaha. So, after it is dead, the tree certainly springs from the seed, or it can come from a cutting also. Both are possible for the tree. Like that, what is there for the Purusha? That is the question here. So the Bhashya is Yadi ched evam vadatha. If you say in this manner, what is that? Retasaha prarohati iti. Ma vochata. Ma evam vaktum arhata. Tasmat. So if you say the human being comes back from the retas, means you cannot say like that. You should not say like that. He says, Vaktum ma evam vaktum arhata. In this manner you cannot say. Why? Tasmat yasmat jivataha purushat tat retaha prajayate na mrita. because the retas comes only from the living being, not from the dead body, dead person. Further, what apicha dhana ruhaha dhana bijam. Dhana means bijam here. Dhana ruha means that which comes from the bija. Bija ruhaha api vrikshaha bhavati. The seed, the tree also comes from the seed. That way, there is a similarity, correct? Na kevalam kanda ruhaha eva, Bhashyakara says. So kanda ruha means, so sometimes we cut the tree and put the cutting, correct? And from that again it develops roots and all that and it comes up. So even a cut tree can again sprout. Similarly, if anything is there here for the human being. So Iva, in fact, in this sentence, Dana Ruhaha, Iva is there. Bhashyakara says Iva has no meaning here. Maybe it is only a filler. Dana Ruha, Vai Vrikshaha Anjasa Pretya Sambhavaha. So Vrikshaha Anjasa Sakshat Pretya Mritva. So having died, Sakshat, okay, means very really having died. Mritva Sambhavaha Dhanataha Api Pretya Sambhavaha Bhavet Anjasaha Punaha Vanaspate. So the tree, a large tree, you can say, after it is dead, certainly it springs again from the seed as well. So Punaha, it comes. And that kind of a similarity is there between tree and human being. But what about the other thing? What is the mula? If you cut the tree from the root, still it comes up, means what is there similarly for the human being? In fact, there are only some couple of more of this portion where Yajnavalkya is talking to the Brahmanas, and then there is a reasonably big Bhashya is there. With that, the third chapter will be over. We'll see all that next week. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಗುರುಜಿ.
Okay.